Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Now I've not done a facecam video for a while and there's a good reason for that, and that's because I don't have a proper facecam. I'm still doing my recording off of a camera on my phone. So that is in my mind, and it means that I can then do some facecam vids over my gameplay and also react to live streams like the one today, which we're going to talk about in this vid. But I couldn't do that because I don't have a camera that can support it. So there we are. But really interested in the stream that happened today. Valkyrie, Tiandi reworks, counter Guardbreak changes, and loads of other stuff. The event looks really cool, like loads of like spiders and things on Temple Garden, which looks awesome. But yeah, the Tiandi rework took my eye the most, just because I've played Tiandi the most probably out of the two characters. Valkyrie, I've not really tried much of. However, after these changes, I'm very up for giving her a go. So, Tiandi, he seems to flow a lot better, and he has a follow-up to his Dragon Kick, which I've wanted for a long time, because that move was pretty useless before, unless there was a ledge behind them. So, there we go. And then the Guardbreak changes. It means that you can't get Guardbreak spammed, and you have frame advantage after a counter Guardbreak. So then you can actually land a heavy and cut through their consistent GBs if they want to do that. So, changes look good overall. Now, there's no point me really talking over JC, the developer who speaks in this. When I get my camera in the future, then I can do a live reaction. But I've actually met him in real life, and he's a really nice guy. I met him in Canada a few months ago. So yeah, hope you enjoy this vid. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this new season, and I'll see you in the next one.
All right, hello everybody. So today we're going to be looking at changes that are coming to the testing grounds. We're going to have Valkyrie changes, Tiandi changes, and counter Guardbreak changes. So first up, we're going to start with Valkyrie. So Valkyrie is one of our older heroes. She doesn't have that much offense. A lot of her stuff can be dodged on one timing. Sweep doesn't really work. And so we're really trying to give her better openers, and also to give her better pressure and offense in general. And for that, we're going to start with Shield Crush and Shield Tackle. So we've actually removed Shield Crush in this testing rounds and replaced it with Shield Tackle. And you can no longer do Shield Tackle from back dodge, right? So right now I just did back dodge and guard break. You can't do it anymore from this, but you can now do it from front dodge instead. So if you do heavy, you can soft feint into Shield Tackle. You can do zone, soft feint into Shield Tackle. Wait, it didn't work there. There we go. So everywhere where you could use Shield Crush, you can now use Shield Tackle instead. Shield Tackle also now guarantees a light when it lands. It still blocks attacks like before. So there we go. You can also now dodge out of it. So that gives you a little bit more defensive options. So that's quite interesting. And what's also cool with it is that now we have a new kind of mix-up that we've never really had before. Which is, if your opponent thinks that you're going to Shield Tackle, they can just Guard Break and to try to beat your Shield Tackle attempt, right? There you go. So that works. But if I let my heavy go and they attempt to Guard Break, my heavy is going to land instead. So we're really trying to do something a little bit different here that has more impact on Valkyrie, gives her a better reason to use Shield Tackle. And it's kind of like using maybe like a charge attack as a soft feint or something. So it's kind of interesting. And it really pushes a attack while you're defending and defend while you're attacking mindset that we really wanted to have for Valkyrie. That's super different. It feels really cool. I can't wait for people to try it out. And other thing to know is that, as usual, that light that you have here leads to sweep, leads to everything. Basically, it counts as a second hit in the chain. So using that, you can really go into your sweep a lot more often and have those mix-ups work quite well. So speaking of sweep, it is now 500 milliseconds instead of 6. Should make it a lot less reactable, should work quite much better. It no longer unbalances allies or multiple opponents, so it only really unbalances the character you are locked onto. We made that change because we have to choose between one or the other, and unbalancing allies made so that ganking when you're using sweep was much more difficult because you risked unbalancing your friends and your allies, and then they couldn't get guaranteed damage on top of it, so that made a difference here. And last but not least, the sweep follow-up is now frame advantage, right? So now if I mash light and my opponent mashes light, see, as you see here, I was able to hit them almost on the way coming back up. They can still block, right? So if I go at top light here, it's still blockable, but I have frame advantage. So it lets Valkyrie really keep the offense up. Using sweep in 1v1 situations will really help you, and keeping that frame advantage really helps Valkyrie in this position. Then we have pouncing thrust and hunter strike. So pouncing thrust has more range now, a lot more range. So that's quite good, and they're now all enhanced as well. So as you see here, like that's really like you're gonna get interrupted on block. Lets Valkyrie really go further into her chains, be able to sweep, really initiate a lot more. Her side dodge lights, so pouncing thrusts now have more forward movement as well. So they used to be quite bad. Like, they didn't really hit forward much. She didn't really move a lot. So with this, you really have a lot more forward movement. They also have more side movement, right? So if you do it like this, she moves more to the side, so that's good. And they also now have proper iframes. It's kind of hard to show here, but the idea is that with those iframes, let's go like this, yeah. It makes it a lot easier for you to be able to dodge and properly do dodge attacks with this in group fights and a lot of different situations, so it works quite well. Then we have something for attacks. So all of her heavy attacks have more forward movement now. It doesn't really show, but one of the big things that used to happen is if you did a side light, a left light into heavy feint to Guardbreak, it wouldn't work. You couldn't catch people because they didn't have enough forward movement. So now that those heavies have more forward movement, you reach forward a lot more. You're able to target swap, hit more opponents, works quite well. We've also updated all the trajectories on her side heavies, both neutral, chained, and finishers, to be able to hit external opponents much better. We've also slowed down the top light and chains and her finishers to 500 ms, right? So they used to be 4. So these used to be 400 ms, and the problem that we run into this is that at low level, 400 ms lights are really hard to work with. Already 500 are a little bit hard to react to for a lot of players, and we want players to at least have a chance to be able to block sometimes, right? But then when they're 400, it's a lot harder, and then at high level, the players are good enough that they're able to block top, and then if it's a side, they react and block the side, and if it's not a side, they just keep blocking top, and they still block it. So that didn't work either. So with everything at 500, it incentivizes Valkyrie to do more heavies, do more into the shield tackle type of things, but still be able to use them and not be as frustrating at low level. Last but not least, in terms of attacks, we've also normalized recoveries of all of her chain attacks to be between 700 and 800 ms everywhere. It's a bit of a quality of life change, but it really helps Valkyrie be a little bit more safe in group fights and when outnumbered. We also have zone attack. So the trajectory for the first step for zone attack is now 500 ms instead of 6. So that makes a big difference. It makes it a lot more usable. And we've also updated the trajectories for both hits. Again, so they match the weapon better. You can hit more people externally and have a lot more control over fights with this. And finally, the last change we want to look at Valkyrie is Hunter's Rush, which is a sprint attack. So Valkyrie's sprint attack now initiates chains. So you can go Hunter's Rush into heavy, this, and so you can do all sorts of stuff with it. So it really helps her initiate when out of lock a lot better, using her sprint attack to get into her chains and let her initiate some more. So that's it for Valkyrie. Next up, we're going to look at Tiandi. Okay, so now let's look at Tiandi, right? So for Tiandi, we really want to focus on the dodge specialist aspect of the hero, as well as improving the hero's offense. Like Tiandi had like some limited dodge cancels here and there. It really didn't live up to the dodge specialist name. And on top of that, his offense was a little bit lacking. It was difficult to open up people and get into the groove and really have proper offense with the hero. So we're looking at those two main aspects. So first up, we have flow like water, basically recovery cancels. So Tiandi can now recovery cancel every single attack into a dodge at 300 ms, right? So you can do light into a dodge. You can do heavy into another heavy into a dodge if you want. You can even do it off of like palm strike or dragon kick that we're going to look into a little bit later. So essentially, we really wanted to have Tiandi be able to really be a good specialist into having dodge cancels. They're a little bit slower than other dodge cancels. They're being at 3, Pirate and Orochi are at 2, and Xanu is at 3. So we're really trying to like find a little different common ground for these, but this is really interesting. Works quite well and gives a lot of interesting things. Next up, we have Palm Strike. So Palm Strike used to be on Backwalk and Guardbreak. We've actually now put it on front dodge Guardbreak instead. The reason for that being that at low level, the back Guardbreak attacks are a little bit problematic because they're really hard to react to at low level, but they're also fully reactable at high level, and so that makes them not very good. They're okay as interrupt tools, kinda, but not really. So we really wanted to have it to be in a much more standardized position. So from front dodge Guardbreak works quite well. And the other cool thing with that is that because it's now in front dodge, you can do interesting mix-ups like dodge cancels your attack into palm strike, reset your chain, keep going to what you have. So Tiandi really goes much further with this. It might look like a strange change for some, but we really feel that having that off of that dodge really opens up Tiandi quite a bit. We've also removed the unique follow-up it had. So when you do on live, when you do a palm strike, you used to have a heavy follow-up that was armored, top only. You could target swap, but it was a bit weird. And the problem with that move was that because it had like strange properties where it couldn't be parried. If the palm strike landed and you did that heavy against your opponent, the opponent that the palm strike landed on, that attack was unparryable. So that was kind of hard to read. And the other real niche move that it had was that it could kind of trade with dodge attacks if somebody was doing a dodge attack against your palm strike, for example. But because you now have access to both dodge cancels here, if you want to dodge attack somebody who dodged it, then you can do that. You can also, if you still want that armor somewhere, you can dodge cancel a dodge for it heavy, which still has armor. So you can do palm, target swap, dodge for it heavy, and do all that sort of thing. So that still works quite well. So we really felt like that specific attack was no longer necessary, as it forced Tiandi down a very specific path that we didn't want. And the last thing that we have with palm strike is that actually it now leads to heavy finishers, and you can change your stances too as well. So you can do like a left heavy finisher, right heavy finisher, same for lights. So now you can actually do this and hit somebody on the side with a trajectory if you like, whereas before that was completely impossible. So we really want to give like Tiandi a lot more viability in those outnumbered situations, be able to use those side heavy finishers, hit people externally, and get into that. So next up we have Dragon Kick, right? So Dragon Kick was a bit of a weird move in that, yeah, you could kind of ledge with it. You can like push somebody into a wall and maybe get a follow-up. Maybe luckily get it, like land a kick on somebody, lands next one of your allies, they get a heavy on him. But it's still, like in most situations, it was actually better for the defender to just get hit by the Dragon Kick or react to Tiandi rather, doing a soft feint dodge or whatever. So we've done two things to really help remedy this, right? So Dragon Kick can now be feinted. So you can just straight up feint Dragon Kick and go for a Guardbreak if you'd like to catch dodge attempts. And it also now a dedicated follow-up on heavy attack, so that every time you do land a Dragon Kick, you do get a heavy attack afterwards. So now there's an actual incentive for your opponent to actually want to try to deal with it and do something instead of just taking it and just taking no damage or very low damage. So we really tried to get Dragon Kick to be a much more threatening move for Tiandi. And then we now have side dragon dodges. So they used to be 1100 MS, so that's super slow. They couldn't, like, it was really difficult to really punish bashes and like faster attacks with side dragon dodges, side dodge heavies, for example, because the problem that we started having is that because it's so slow, a lot of bashes could just miss. You would do that move, and then your opponent would be able to block in time almost every single time. With them being faster, they're now 800 MS, so they should be able to catch a lot more bashes when you dodge them at the right timing. But to do that, we also remove the extended dodge properties because it's faster. Having extended dodge properties on that move is kind of crazy. You were able to like side dodge quite a bit. It was super strong. We've also lowered the side movement a little bit. It's still good, but it's a little bit less. But as Alex in front of me was graciously playing with me right now to show you the changes, showed you can still soft feint it right into a dodge. So, and you can still feint the attack as well. So it's not like the move changed a little bit. You can still use it in a lot of situations, but it should now be actually useful at beating bashes. And like we've seen, you can do like really crazy shenanigans where you do side dodge heavy into a front dodge palm, into a lot of stuff. So again, this really opens up Tiandi quite a bit to do a lot of crazy, interesting shenanigans there and go there. So the last things we want to look at are quality of life changes on Tiandi. So first up is finishers on when you're out of lock are now side attacks. They used to be top, so you can do heavy there. So that should help Tiandi get a much better minion clear without having to resort to having like dodge cancel sort of stuff. You can now go and just mash heavies on the side and be able to get better lane clearing abilities. We've also improved the trajectories for the side heavy finishers. It's kind of hard to show right now, but they're way better at catching external opponents. Again, they match the weapon better as well, so it's a big improvement there for Tiandi. And we've also removed all the stamina damage and stamina pauses on all of his bashes. So on Palm, on Dragon Kick, there's no longer stamina damage or pause. We also removed the stun on Dragon Kick because it didn't really do anything. So it's a lot of like small changes for quality of life, and then the other changes which don't seem like much but really help the character feel a lot like have much better flow, better offense, better defense. So hopefully the character is going to be much stronger in the future. So now we're going to look at counter Guardbreak changes. Alright, so now we're going to look at counter Guardbreak changes finally. So we've done a small change where whenever you counter Guardbreak, you now have frame advantage for 1 frame, right? And we also push opponents a little bit less far. So I'm going to Guardbreak Alex here. You can counter Guardbreak, right? So we're pushed a little bit less far, but also the person that did the counter Guardbreak has frame advantage for 1 frame. That might not seem like a big change, but what it does do is that, let's say I'm going to Guardbreak Alex, he's going to counter Guardbreak, and then I'm going to mash Guardbreak, and he's going to throw a heavy, and let's see what happens. See, so on live right now, so you saw that I did a Guardbreak, I fully buffered it. My Guardbreak bounced, and the heavy landed, right? So what this does is that 1 frame of frame advantage lets your opponent, lets the person that did the counter Guardbreak, throw out anything but a light or a Guardbreak. You can do like other options, but basically the idea is that like right now on live, whenever somebody Guardbreaks, if your opponent counter Guardbreaks, the only thing either player can do is throw a light, because Guardbreak will catch anything else. It'll catch heavies, it'll catch dodges, it'll catch absolutely everything. And so it makes it that you end up becoming very predictable, and Guardbreak becomes a very good tool to really stop offense here. Whereas now, when you manage to successfully counter Guardbreak, you have more options. It doesn't mean that you don't get guaranteed damage or anything, but you have more options. It makes you less predictable, and so it doesn't make sure that you're always going to throw a light, that then you know it's a light, so you can always parry it, and you get into that route where, especially at a high level, Guardbreaks were becoming a problem, and people would just like mash Guardbreak all the time, and the only thing you could really do is either light or Guardbreak, and it didn't quite work. So with this change, you can really land heavies afterwards. You can do a lot of different things. And the other thing you can do is that you can do, we'll show it with Alex right now. If I throw a Guardbreak and he counter Guardbreaks, I'm going to try to back roll, and you'll see that he can mash Guardbreak to actually catch my back roll. So let's look at it this way. See, so I tried to back roll here, and his Guardbreak caught me. So it means that it's much harder to also to defend yourself with a dodge or with different options after your opponent counters your Guardbreak. We did this so we want to have Guardbreak still be useful in the game, right? They're still very good. They still guarantee heavies. None of that changed. But we want it to be that there is a little bit of risk associated to it, and the person that actually successfully defended has a bit more of an advantage here. So that's going to be it for Testing Grounds. I really want to give a big shout out to Alex. Unfortunately, he can only be my body bag right now. So, but thank you very much. We had technical issues where he couldn't join the video with me and be on the audio call, but he graciously accepted to be there with me so we can record this session. So thank you, Alex. And we'll see you guys back into the Warriors. Thank you.